The Kilby Historical Site. $16 to go in as an adult. Lots of stuff to check out. All this stuff for making milk, cheese, I guess.
Is this what you feed?
Yeah, you can.
Oh, right on. That's why they're looking at us.
He's eating them now. So this log cabin was in Mission, and when they put in the new Mission Bridge, they were going to just tear it down, but some historians came along and thought that they would take it apart and put it back together here in Kilby. They marked each piece, took it all apart carefully, and then rebuilt it here. So it's been here since the 90s. Kind of neat, and I guess it covers it covers their water reservoir that's underneath here. So that's really cool. So on the Kilby site here, they rent out these yurts. They have barbecues and fire pits. I'm not sure what they are. I'll put it up on the screen though. You can see it.
All right. So most farmers would have had their own rope making machines. Most of them were 3 hooks. This one's a 4 hook. This is a Mennonite one. And so this piece, which is called a traveler, it's normally round with 4 notches cut in it, or 3 notches, depending on how many pieces. But we're just guessing that because this is a Mennonite machine, that it's like a cross.
Which means it grows a beard but no mustache, right?
That's right.
And then I guess if there's vampires, we can use that as well, kind of thing. Yeah.
Totally can.
Handy.
Very handy. All right.
Except Mennonites are pacifists, George.
Oh.
So
Right.
you're not really thinking this through.
Okay.
Okay, fair enough. So I do need another person to be the traveler.
Larry,
You got to be the
Okay.
traveler.
serve a purpose, Larry. Get off your phone.
Okay, I'm just
Serve
make
a
rope.
purpose.
And it's put now the English make rope.
Great.
Like that in the picture.
All right, now the traveler generally would be this way,
You just hold it.
underneath, but because we don't have that, we do it this way, which we apologize for any sacrilege.
Do we do it this way?
And it goes like this. It has to separate all the ropes. And you bring it down here. Not quite there. All right, so your job is a very important job, sir. Because what you have to do is, I'm gonna wrestle you with this, there we go. What you have to do is keep all the lengths the same, and already it's starting to pull this way.
Yeah, so go in the
you
middle,
have to
Larry.
keep it
Right
in the middle.
Okay.
You got it?
Do I hold this thing?
No, I got that.
Okay.
Honest.
Okay.
So you're going off to the side now.
Yeah, just keep
Yeah.
it in the middle.
And this is normally done by a machine. And this is normally attached to the wall. All right, so I'm going to move you out just a little bit. And then when I say go, so you have to keep
Larry,
it this way.
keep it in the middle, Larry. Look at the middle, between
Yeah.
the boards.
Seriously, you have one job, okay?
We believe in you, Larry.
All right,
Larry,
so when
look
I
and
say
focus.
go, then you will start to slide it towards,
Okay.
the machine. So, but for now, there you go. All right, you
So-
turn it in a clockwise
Move your
direction.
hand, Larry. Okay, I'm going to start turning it.
There you go.
And then move.
Not yet. And what you are doing, sir, is you're watching down here at the hook. You did not think today would be quite so complicated, did you?
So, hey, what's going on?
So it's all twisting. Larry, can you see it's going to start to
Yeah, so
twist
move
down
it.
here? Not yet.
What? Okay, just watch it, yeah.
So what I have to do is wait till the tension is relatively even.
Okay.
There you go. All right, you can start sliding it down. You can go faster than that, Larry, but not the turner. Just
Oh,
Larry.
sorry.
Larry, you can go faster than that. Yeah, you just basically walk it down. Faster,
Okay.
Larry. Yeah, you've got it. Keep going.
Keep going, Larry.
So you can slow down quite a bit.
Yeah, I see that.
Yeah, because now we have a little heartbeat, which is very cool.
Okay.
So keep going, Larry. There you go. And all the way to the end. Amazing.
All right.
Hold on to that till I cut it out. Thank you for doing that.
I thought you make rope for the little ones. The kids get a kick out of it.
Well, I actually brought this in for adults.
Oh, okay.
I didn't bring
Yeah,
it.
I'm finding it cool.
Yeah, because this is the whole premise of rope making. Let me just trim this off, and you get to unhook it.
Thank you. So you unhook it there.
And
Good.
I'll take the hook. And this is your piece. And
Oh.
you see you have one little heartbeat. And that is Larry's heartbeat. Right there. Right there. Yeah, there you go.
Well,
Thanks
thank
for
you.
doing that.
Thanks
you
for
so
showing
much.
us.
You're welcome.
You're a good sport.
That was fun.
Yeah, you had to leave your phone for a minute there, but it'll be okay.
I'm taking
You'll be
pictures
okay.
too. I'm just taking pictures. I'm not on the phone. I'm just taking pictures. It's kind of cool.
Yeah,
If you notice, you had to walk up a ramp to get here. So when the store was built in 1906, this is the original building on the original site. It flooded every year. No dikes. So you've got the Harrisons right there. Fraser's right around that corner. So every spring runoff, snow melt. Sometimes a little, sometimes a lot. So the store's raised up because of that. Even where you can see those houses there, that was all row houses for the mill workers. And they were all raised up on stilts connected with boardwalks. There was a boardwalk from here over to the tracks, and where those big trees are was a CPR passenger station. If you stand right here and you look over that little brown metal building, you can see a roof line. That's the boiler room for the Rat Portage sawmill.
Okay.
When the mill burned in the 30s, that was the only concrete part of the mill, so that was all that was left. The mill actually extended well over here and down the river. You've probably seen the pilings down the river. It's actually been used in a couple of movies and things. So yeah,
So this mill shut down in.
it burned in the 30s. The problem with this mill was, the area is called Harrison Mills because it was the sawmill capital of BC. A couple of mills on the other side of the railroad bridge, smaller mills all over. Problem with that mill was it was highly efficient, but they didn't have any timber rights. When the store was built in 1906, there was a hotel up. And if you lived in Chilliwack and wanted to go to Vancouver, you came up by ferry over to here, caught the train. In this time period, 3 passenger trains a day into Vancouver, 3 passenger trains a day out of Vancouver every day of the week. You had 2 CPR, that's the CP track. So first train went through here at 7 in the morning going into Vancouver. You arrive downtown Vancouver by 8:30. It's only an hour and a half by train. And that's figuring it stops along the way. Now it's waterfront station, but in those days that was the CP. But if you came over here by ferry and you caught the last train which left Vancouver at 9:30 in the evening, it's dark, ferry's not going to go back. So you spent the night in the hotel, $2 a night, breakfast included, which was probably a fairly decent amount of money in those days.
Oh, cool.
This is the stores that would have been in the 1920s, and over 90% of what you see in here is original to the store. Kilby's never threw anything out, so this is all stock that or empty packaging that just got put away and kind of forgotten about. You could buy basically anything you needed in here.
Everything for your household and maybe things for your farm as well.
Yeah. And they did have a meat locker downstairs so you could buy fresh meat and vegetables and things. These are the people who actually built the store. Thomas and Eliza Kilby, they came from Manchester, England. Built the store in 1906. They ran it to about 1922, at which point Acton and his wife Jessie took it over and they ran it to 1976.
Yes. 70 years in the same family.
Yeah, we'll say 72, the post office left, which was kind of then the end of the store because people would come get their mail, a loaf of bread or milk or whatever. Now they no longer had to come. So Acton ran it kind of as a private museum, school tours. And when they finally left in 76, this is what he wanted to see in here.
Fortunately, the provincial government came in. They bought the land, the building, and all the contents to preserve it because they knew kind of how valuable an asset it would be.
And so the man spearheading that, his name was John Green. At the time, he was the mayor of Harrison Hot Springs, published a local newspaper. We actually have a room of his stuff upstairs because John Green is also the man who wrote all the early books on Sasquatches. Wow. First Nations here firmly believe in Sasquatches. It's the main part of their mythology. And if you ever see a First Nations rendition of a Sasquatch from this area, it's always shown from the knees up because it's always pictured standing in water.
Oh, interesting. Oh,
That is a work of art.
it really is. Eh?
It is stunning.
I love it. Chancellor. reflectors, Tiffany boxes,
Cool.
all the cigarette, tobacco, players, Navy cut cigarettes. I used to smoke players like myself. On the cigars.
Yeah.
Boy, that bed looks uncomfortable. Look at this little stove. First Nation mats, carvings. There you go. A longboat, model canoe. Wow.
Buying one of these red books, maybe in the late 70s or 80s, the red Sasquatch.
I'm part Sasquatch.